It was a cold and dark Christmas Eve, and the small town of Maple Falls was shrouded in a thick blanket of fog. Despite the gloomy weather, the town's residents were in high spirits, preparing for the annual Christmas Eve party at the town hall. As the night went on, strange things began to happen. The Christmas lights on the houses flickered and went out, and strange noises echoed through the streets. Some of the town's residents reported seeing strange, shadowy figures lurking in the fog. Despite these unsettling occurrences, the partygoers tried to brush off their fears and enjoy the celebration. They sang carols, exchanged gifts, and feasted on delicious holiday treats. But as the night wore on, the strange occurrences became more and more frequent. Doors slammed shut and windows rattled, and a sense of creeping dread settled over the partygoers. Suddenly, the door to the town hall burst open and a group of hooded figures stormed in. They were tall and slender, with pale skin and glowing red eyes. In their hands, they held long, sharp knives. The partygoers screamed and scattered, trying to flee from the attackers. But the figures were too fast, and they sliced through the crowd with ease. The town's residents fought bravely, but they were no match for the supernatural creatures. As the massacre raged on, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Santa Claus, his face twisted into a snarling, demonic expression. He raised his hand and the creatures froze in place, cowering before him. "You shall not ruin Christmas," Santa boomed in a voice that shook the very foundations of the town. "I am the keeper of the holiday spirit, and I will not allow you to extinguish it." With a flick of his wrist, Santa summoned a wave of blinding light that washed over the creatures, banishing them back to the shadows from whence they came. The town's remaining survivors looked on in awe as Santa restored the power to the Christmas lights and brought joy and light back to the town. But the horrors of that night were not over yet. As the survivors tried to make their way home, they were confronted by another group of creatures, this time, twisted, undead versions of their loved ones. The survivors fought for their lives as they tried to escape the clutches of the zombie-like monsters. In the end, only a handful of people made it out alive. They vowed to never forget the bravery and sacrifice of Santa and those who fought to protect the holiday spirit. And they lived to tell the tale of the terrifying Christmas Eve massacre that shook the town of Maple Falls to its very core. The survivors knew that they had to do something to prevent a tragedy like this from happening again. They banded together and formed a group dedicated to protecting the town from the horrors that lurked in the shadows. They called themselves the Christmas Guardians, and they patrolled the streets of Maple Falls every Christmas Eve, ready to confront any threats to the holiday spirit. Over the years, the Christmas Guardians faced many challenges and fought countless battles against the creatures of the night. But they never wavered in their commitment to protecting their town and preserving the joy of Christmas. And as the years went by, the people of Maple Falls slept peacefully on Christmas Eve, knowing that the Christmas Guardians were on watch, keeping them safe from harm.